What's up? This is Moni Meish, and I'm here with Denzil, and he's gonna ask me a question.
Denzil Porter.
I'm sorry, I acting
No,
like I
you
know
said
you
it right, but you gotta say the
the
whole.
whole name. Okay, Denzil Porter. My bad. All right.
Feel me?
Actually, so wait, let me say, I met him like 10 years ago.
Damn.
Where were we at? Wait, he was performing in the city, and he won. What was?
Everything.
What? Okay, so he was performing and he won a trip to South by Southwest. And then what happened after you went to that?
That was when I performed for a show that Nas was at. It was pretty dope.
Cool.
Yeah, it was a good time. South by Southwest is always a good time, but that was like you talking about my competition run. I was doing a lot of competitions back then.
Oh.
Yeah.
So that was actually my interviewing you was my first time I ever interviewed anybody.
Oh, so
before I even became
this
like
is
a
like a
journalism
10-year follow-up kind of.
That's what it feels like. Okay, well, I interviewed him 10 years ago, so today he's gonna ask me a question.
Now I'm interviewing you. The tables
Yes.
have turned.
All right,
So these questions are very, very improvised because it was really random. And pardon me, I'm rolling my hookah. So, I was just asking her a few questions, and now we're here. Um, and I wanted to know what do you think your strengths are as an artist, your career, or what are your strengths?
Is that I can make a song about anything. So I could be walking down a block, I could see a tree, the sky could be purple. I was in a supermarket and this lady asked me to pay for it. She walked up to me, she's like, "Can you pay for my groceries? I have kids at home." And I thought about it, but I was like, this shit is weird. But just being open to making songs about things that people wouldn't usually like make a song about.
Okay, so your strengths are like you're heavily inspired
By what's happening around me.
motivated. Yeah, how do you find inspiration in a time like today? Like, we coming out of a pandemic, and I know a lot of people who do music and a lot of people who do, from the pen to production, it's so hard to find inspiration. What are you doing?
The main thing that I'm doing is like writing about my life and the things that I go through. I really tried to say what is it that people want to see, and I think people like come up stories.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, oh, she started and she used to work at Bath and Body Works. She became a teacher. She just got her master's in the pandemic. Now, what is she doing with that master's? And she's making music about what? Like, I have a song about what I teach. Last year I taught social studies, so I have a song called "How Many Chains You Got," which talks about slavery from like the beginning. Like I mentioned the transatlantic slave trade. So like I mentioned like Black Lives Matter. So just using all of me and like putting it out there and just like hoping that people could like accept it.
History and social studies was definitely my favorite subject.
Yeah. Ooh.
Yeah, that's what kind of how I find my inspiration. I read a lot.
Oh, I love that.
I just read a lot. I just read. Like this last month, I read about 4 books.
Wait, you're that serious?
Yeah.
No, I
Whether
love
I'm
that.
listening or reading, I'm always reading because
I don't meet a lot of men who read these days. Like usually when I read a book and I use it as my reference. Also in my music, I reference a lot of movies and a lot of books. And usually people don't know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. And that's the same thing with my level, like how I rap as well, how I do my music. I kind of write it without no limits. You know what I mean? I'm not kind of making sure that this person is going to understand me. I just know that somebody somewhere will understand me, and whoever doesn't, if they're really interested, they'll go look it up. You see what I mean? As long as I'm not saying no bullshit. But reading and all that stuff is where I get my source from that keeps me going. Because like if you're a writer, the way you feed that is reading. You see what I'm saying? So it's really like in our face with it. Like, you know what I mean? When people say, "Oh, I got writer's block," well, then the answer is to read. You know what I mean? Just do the opposite of it.
Whoa, why do I feel like this is so deep right now? No, that's no.
Because it's right in front of our faces, but it's not something we think about. It's like, yo, we gotta read, I gotta write, but it's like, yo, they go hand in hand, it's like math and science. You know what I mean? Like,
Wow, I had really bad writer's block. Like these last 2 months, I have a song I've been working on for like 3 months.
Yeah.
Yesterday in an hour, I wrote like 6 lines. Like it's crazy. And then I put on social media. I'm like, yo, I got writer's block. Like people asking me for features. I'm like, I can't do it right now. And people are like, yo, you need to experience life. I'm like, I'm doing stuff every day, but it's
Yeah.
not coming to me. But I feel like if I read a book,
Read a book.
just
Go
get
down.
into that
Go
new
down
world.
some type of rabbit hole somewhere. You know what I mean? Whether you even on YouTube, you can find a rabbit hole to go down. But the thing is, with YouTube, you can get so deep down a rabbit hole, you'll be afraid to write about it. You know what I mean?
Hold on. What are your top 3 things that you have gotten into like a rabbit hole with on YouTube?
Oh my God! You hear this question? You want to answer for me, bro?
Your
So,
top 3. You want me to go
don't
first?
judge me now. We go one for one.
Okay.
Spooks. I watch a lot of ghost shit on. Like I like, you know, when they're like, "Yo, is this real?" You know, yo, this footage. You know, a lot of compilations of ghost footage, like poltergeist or stuff that people are like, "Yo, I'm living with a ghost." Yo, a lot. I watch that a lot.
Wow.
And I just be like, all right, let me see. They said it. They said it's real. Let me go through it. And for a good 2 hours in the dark,
you're stuck.
just stuck. I call it spooks and spliffs. Me and my little brother, we smoke a spliff and we watch scary shit on YouTube.
Wow.
So that's a YouTube rabbit hole. How about yourself?
Okay. A big one for me is watching snakes eat other animals.
What?
Wait, but like an owner will buy like a little like a rabbit or like a mouse or a rat or something, put it in a cage.
Yo, you see the video of the rat that got away? As he showed to put it in the box.
There's a rat that got away.
Oh yes, I seen that.
Wait, it got away in the apartment?
Yes.
No.
And the nigga is on some. Yo, get this shit, you stupid fuck. You bitch. Get the
Move out the camera, you dancing in the
oh
camera.
my, it was like Casey from Friday, but like
Yeah, nah, that shit was crazy.
That's literally crazy. All right, give me a second one.
All right, so my second rabbit hole, and I guess it's kind of like, okay, damn, I got a couple rabbit holes that I'll be going down, but all right, so I'm gonna go for inspired by your rabbit hole. I like to watch like animal stuff, like really wild, like yo.
I love animal videos.
What were you doing there? You know what I mean? Because I'm really wild too. If you watch my Instagram and my social, when I'm traveling, I travel a lot and I run into a lot of
animals
and things that are just not in the Bronx. You know what I mean? And you'll see me get really close on some like Steve Irwin shit, like, yo, bro, I really want to touch this thing, but
it's probably gonna kill you.
There's a video. I don't know if it's.
I'm about to go through your whole Instagram.
Yeah, like where these kids were chasing a snake up in New Hampshire, and I ended up having to pick the shit up and let it down a hill because them kids was gonna kill it. You know what I mean? But I go through some stuff, and I like to see like videos of like, yo, what are you doing in that place? Like that's why you got hit by that lion. You know what I mean? Like that's a YouTube rabbit hole for me.
That's crazy. All right, so back to animals, and this will be my last one. So I used to work for Bronx River Alliance, and then I went to this
Bronx River what?
Bronx River Alliance.
Bronx River Lions. Alliance. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm like Lions.
Yeah, Bronx River
Is this
Alliance.
like a basketball team?
No.
Bronx River Lions.
It's an environmental agency where they like care about the river and like the animals inside the river. So while I'm working there, I went to this meeting about birds, long-legged birds and short-legged birds. I've been obsessed with birds ever since. So on YouTube, I'll watch videos about birds. And like birds, if like they eat each other, they're fucking evil. They'll like just go and peck you in your eye and shit. They turn on each other all the time. If they have too many kids and they can't feed them, they'll just pick them up, drop them out the nest.
But talk about the penguins. They fall in love with their love mate forever. Tell us some good things about birds, like, you know.
Yo, penguins are about to be extinct though.
Yeah, they
no, because look, the ice caps are melting, and then even though they're like sea creatures, they still need to come up for oxygen. Yeah. They're not gonna have nowhere to come up at pretty soon.
And nowhere to hide from killer whales and
killer whales. All right, so my last thing I was watching, it was this piece of ice.
I'm in no rush, by the way. So go ahead.
It's just I might run out of space, so that's why I'm. All right, so it was like 3 slabs of ice, and then the killer whale, like, it pokes his head up, and it's like, oh, that's my op right there. And then he tells his little friends, and then they all plan to attack. So then they break the ice, and after they break the ice, they throw the little nigga up in the air, turns in circles, and
You seen the wave? You see them all go together and then rock the ice up so that the shit will rock off.
Smart. They're so smart.
I think the most dangerous creatures on the planet, killer whales and cats. Cats, definitely. If you watch a cat,
cats or
every single cat,
all of them.
domestic, lion, all of them. Their reaction time is ridiculous. They can basically fly, how high they jump and how long they can glide and how they can touch the floor from all. They basically fly. They're fast as fuck. I said that part already. Their sharp nails, their teeth, their everything. The way that
they don't have that. They don't want to really sit and wait to figure out like,
right.
If I should, they're just gonna.
The biggest cat will take on the biggest dog and win that, right? And then the killer whale is just too smart. Like it's taking on sharks, it takes on dolphins. It's the most dominant beast. So I think that those are the two dangerous animals on the planet: a simple cat and a killer whale.
Wow.
They could climb. They could do whatever the fuck they want to do. Cats run the world.
I always think that if I'm in Hunger Games, I'm gonna die. Like there's gonna be some animal that's gonna kill me, or like I'm gonna eat the wrong like berry or some shit. I'm just gonna be out. I've spent a lot of time thinking about this. I need to learn a skill. I need to learn archery. I need to be better with a bat or some shit. Even axe throwing. I need to do something because the cat is gonna fucking kill me. Okay, and then when the sea levels rise, the killer whales are gonna get me, and I need to be able to like.
So okay.
Outsmart it or like get away.
Real quick before we cut this. As a, how do you feel about kids learning about artillery, guns, and all that stuff early? Is that a thing for you?
This is a good one. I haven't spent a lot of time thinking
weaponry
about it,
and all that.
But early. I feel like it's a good skill and that they should learn how to do it. And it's not for I got beef with this person, I'm gonna go like kill this person. It's more so like
the education.
I need to be able to protect myself. Like what if zombies actually was a thing, right? If zombies become a thing, you need to learn how to shoot the zombie and kill it. You need to learn how to, like, I feel like arrows were made because someone was like, yo, I need to stab that nigga over there, and they was mad far. The nigga over there was mad far. So it's just like you need to learn those. Or
so
like
the thing is, you took it a distance though. I think I agree with you. I do think that education on weapons and guns should start as early as as early as possible for the discipline factor. Same way you teach martial arts, you know what I mean? And you start real early so that they'll understand what they're dealing with. You know what I mean?
Right, because then if you don't know it, then you have like
it becomes a toy or
you have this curiosity.
Right. If you learn from the streets what a gun is, then you're gonna treat this gun like what you've learned it is, right? But if you learn from the home what a gun is, then you're gonna treat the gun like something you've learned in the home. So it's like just knowing like this is not to you, it's a tool. You see what I mean? And we don't use a hammer to just bang wood. You know what I mean? You only use it for what you use it for and when to use it.
Right.
You know what I mean? And that's why I think like, at this point it's kind of out of control. Kids are learning everything outside on the streets, and that's where it's at.
They're not being trained properly, and then that's why you have all the gun violence. And
I mean, there should be education to it. And historically, they have always had the Native Americans or indigenous. They taught their kids the arrows or how to hunt, and that all the way down to Africans. We taught them how to use the spear, how to hunt. We don't teach our kids how to hunt anymore. So now when they get angry, they go for these hunting tools. And they do what they have to do.
Oh, it's like, no, I like the way you said it. It's like a way for them to actually like, it's kind of like therapeutic. Like you need to get the thing, kind of like a smash room. Like you need to be able to like get all your anger and your aggression.
But know that this tool is not used.
Use it for that one. It's fine. Right. Nice meeting you.
But yeah, so I just wanted to ask you that because I know you dabble in education as well. It's like, yo, what do you feel about gun education? And
well, I'll close by saying I'm trained how to shoot a .45 and a rifle. I could take it apart, clean it, put it back together. I'm a 90% shot.
Oh.
Nice to meet you. Nice meeting you.
But I didn't get to ask you before you go though. I asked you what you feel your strengths are. What are your weaknesses?
With writing music?
Yeah,
music.
We back on music.
My weakness is that I feel like I'm sure there's a word for it. I just don't know what the word is. So I've been making music based on like my vibes. Like I think this is cool. Hey, baby.
Congrats on the TV, yeah?
Yeah. So I've been making music based on vibes. Like, oh, I think this will work, so it's gonna work. But learning the actual like structure of music is something that I haven't technically learned.
Like how to count bars and stuff like that?
Yeah. And sometimes like first date, that song I just did it without even thinking about it. But now I'm in the studio with like bigger people who work with like mainstream artists, and they're like, "Yo, you gotta stay in the pocket," and I'm like, "What the fuck is a pocket?" Or like people, this one guy, he's like, "Yo, you gotta rhyme, you gotta count your syllables," and I'm just like,
Multi-syllables.
and I'm like, for what? If like for me, if I like it, then I feel like I should put it out because I'm talking about 9 times out of 10, I'm talking about my real life. But I'm running into people who are like really like hip hop heads, and you need to sound like this, and it'll flow better like this, which it's been a headache. The song I was telling you about earlier, I swear I've been writing it for 3 months.
Well, that's some people it takes longer, you know what I mean? And at least you're trying to work towards getting into the culture half of things, right?
But then I have some songs like my number one solo song is called Leatherette. I wrote that in like 10 minutes. And my streams are great, but like other songs, I'm just like, I don't know.
Well, I'll tell you this much: once you get a hang of the vocabulary and the techniques and ethics, whatever, of writing, everything becomes way more easy. Like how many bars you have to put into a song, because I've seen people write like not know how to count bars and just write 48 bars and be like, that's a verse. And it's like, you only had to write 12, right? You only had to write 16. You know what I mean?
It's hard because if you're writing like, if I'm telling a story, I want it to be the full story. But then if I have to keep it within like an 8 or a 16, it can't always be the full story.
Nah, you could. And you just gotta know how.
I gotta know how to finesse it.
Animate it out. Take out some of the footage.
I can't always write and or I or sometimes it has to be like a hashtag bar.
Yeah, or just leave it out.
Yeah, but then you don't get the whole story.
Yeah, no, I'm talking about the eyes and the ends.
Well, that's the thing. What's also hard because, me in education, I edit papers all day. So I'm like, oh, you need a period. And it's just like, in music, you don't need that. So I'm always like battling with myself about which side of my brain is working right now. Wow.
I get it.
This was great. All right, y'all. I'm Moni Meish, and this is
Denzil Porter.
And what am I naming this? This is my second time someone interviewed me. I'm thinking about naming it Moni Meish Meets because I'm meeting people. What do you think?
Moni Meish Meets. Hey, yo.
Or meet Moni Meish. Well, what happened? No?
Moni Meish Meets?
It sounds like a meetup, like something.
That's kind of Ayo. I can't say that.
No.
Turn this mic off. I can't.
We'll figure out the name at a different time. Bye. Oh my goodness.
Moni Meish Meets.